Hey guys, Dev with Crime Hive, back for another segment with the Letecia Stauch case. And this is really about the phone and social media mistakes that she made that investigators uncovered that helped in making her arrest. Some of those things that were located by investigators deal with technology, and we're going to talk more about this in this particular video. We're going to talk about specifically, if you look here, Letecia's historical cell site information on her iPhone and her text messages, and then also her iPhone screen time log. Those are all pretty important things that investigators uncovered. So we're first going to talk about the iPhone screen time log. And so what we're talking about here is when you go to Facebook or other social media sites, there is this screen time. And if you were to go on your iPhone, for example, and go to screen time, you could see these kind of settings. And it tells you, how much time you spent using these different apps and social media platforms. It literally breaks it down. So, for this example, it shows 2 hours and 42 minutes. And so what investigators can see is they can see all these different activity logs that are going on to see kind of a pattern that emerges on your phone. So what's significant about this is Letecia at one point left her phone at the home, and it was very deceptive. So there were times where during this case she would leave her phone at home and then she would come back to it, and then all of a sudden you would see social media. She was active again on Facebook and things like that. So investigators look at all these little things, these little tidbits that help them determine what's suspicious and what's not. So another aspect on her phone that she did was, and here's we'll get to that one in a second. So right here, one of the things that she did when she made searches on her phone is she would commonly put a period in between words. So the word right here, for example, is let's see, can my parent find my cell phone, period, if it's off? So that little tiny mannerism that she did, that linguistic, it allows linguistic experts to actually look at that information and see that, this is Letecia that's making those texts, because that actually came from Gannon's phone. So they realized that wasn't Gannon. That was something that Letecia did when she searched. She would commonly put this period in her search term. So just so you guys understand, you can always go to your screen time, and you guys have the ability. I'm looking here at macrumors.com. This talks about how you can basically go in and check your screen time. It gives you some tips on that, and there's ways to actually disable it. So you can actually turn off your screen time, and it basically just disables it from that period of time moving forward. So the next thing I want to get into here is what I talked about with linguistic forensics. So big example with this was an FBI profiler used this technique with the Unabomber. If you guys are familiar with the Unabomber, one of the things he said in writing his letters, these were from letters, is he would say things like, before too long, I'm picking up on some unusual, I'm picking up on some usual language characteristics like, okay, so he would use the term broad and chick to denote women. So little words and phrases like that he used in his writing helped uncover who he was, even how old essentially he was. Using those types of words showed FBI investigators that he was a little bit older. So there's so much that goes into these investigations, and it's really fascinating. So before we continue, again, just want to remind you guys, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification. You can get more updates on my videos. And we're going to continue on here with this next part here that I want to talk about. And it is dealing with that same phrase, can my parent find my cell phone if it's off? So investigators know that she was making these searches online. And so they believe that maybe she was going to try to hide Gannon's phone, but apparently she didn't. They think maybe she freaked out, didn't really know how to how to deal with technology because she was too worried that maybe investigators would track her phone. So she left it at the home. Investigators did uncover Gannon's phone. So what's interesting about that, though, is from that search, if you're looking at that kind of thing, what's really interesting about phones is this comes from Tech PP, and they talk about tracking of Android and iPhone. So one thing that is pretty common is tracking apps. If you were to put a tracking app on your phone, that will help you to track your phone if you need it at a later time. Now, if you're looking to disable those tracking things, you can certainly go in. You can turn off the location history and stop the tracking. You can turn off your phone, but here's what's interesting: even with your phone off, NSA, those kind of agencies, CIA, they're still capable of tracking cell phones when they're turned off. And this is something that was done in Iraq in the wars. So this technology has emerged over time. They've been doing this ever since 2004. So what that means is somebody can turn off their phone, and what people think that NSA does is they install like Trojan viruses and things like that still enable them to track the phone. There's even cases of them implementing chips in the phones to still track the chips even though the phone's turned off. So those are still things that investigators can utilize. That's more extreme. Typically your local law enforcement agency is going to go to that extreme unless it's a pretty high profile case. But even taking out the battery, those kind of techniques can still be utilized. So Letecia was probably doing these searches trying to figure out, what can I do to not allow investigators to track my phone. And if she turned off her phone, the thing is you can still track the location where you turned the phone off. So she could turn off the phone in, let's say it's in the wilderness somewhere, and they can still track down where that area was before she turned off her phone. So there's just so many considerations here with that, and that's why investigators can uncover just one mistake. It just takes one mistake and you're done. So anyway, I hope you guys found this video helpful. There's obviously more that I can go in more depth. If you guys like this, let me know, comment, let me know some things that you found that deal with tracking of phones and things maybe you've learned online. Looking forward to hearing your comments. I do like to hear new ideas for future videos. And again, if you guys like this, subscribe, chat, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.